Hey everybody, I'd like to talk to you about something that is happening in Alberta. Something that is impacting people with developmental disabilities across this province. For those of you that don't know, I'm a disability rights advocate. I help break down barriers to belonging for people with disabilities. And how I'm able to do this work is through Frontline Disability Advocacy organizations. There are three organizations that I want to talk about today. The Health Advocacy Federation, which has been around since 2006 and is located in Edmonton. The Health Region Health Advocacy Network, which is based in Lethbridge and has been around since 2001. And the Disability Action Hall, which is based in Calgary and has been around since 1998. All three of these organizations have helped people find community, help governments understand how their policies will impact people with disabilities, and help connect people to resources that they need to be successful for over 20 years. Groups are a vital lifeline for many people. They all started when Ralph Klein was Premier of Alberta. He wanted to be fiscally responsible, and he knew and understood that these groups would help save the government money. And they still do today. From peer-to-peer mental health support, which takes a strain off the mental health system, to a way for government to get feedback and input on policies and issues that are facing Albertans with disabilities. All of this for just the low percentage of 0.0057% of the provincial budget, a drop in the bucket. Well, 2 weeks ago, all three organizations found out that they were being defunded. They weren't even given until the end of their contract, which would expire in March 2026. Instead, these organizations that have helped hundreds, if not thousands, of Albertans with disabilities feel included for over 2 decades were given 90 days. 90 days to put a lid on decades of work. 90 days to say goodbye to friends who have become family. 90 days to try and transition people who have relied on those groups for decades to other programs. Not even an acknowledgement for the work that they've done, or a thank you for the difference that they've made. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would they do this? Seems very odd. Well, there's been 2 different answers, both not based in fact, nor in reason. The first reason that they gave was that the Office of the Disability Advocate in Alberta and the Premier's Council on the Status of Persons with Disabilities does advocacy work, so these groups weren't needed. That's absolutely not true. Both the Office of the Disability Advocate and the Premier's Council are advisory. They advise the Minister of Senior Community and Social Services. But, how is it that they know how to advise the minister? Oh, wait a minute. They asked for input from the disability advocacy group because the disability advocacy groups are made up of people with disabilities. Wow. That seems like a great thing, right? So, if the Premier's Council and the disability advocate who advise the minister, if they don't have that access to people with disabilities through these groups, how are they going to get that input? I mean, it wouldn't be very fiscally responsible for the government to have to, put a bunch of money into consultations now, would it? Not when, they put such a small amount in disability advocacy groups that already exist and disability advocacy groups that already provide that feedback. Something to think about. The second reason that the government gave was that they wanted to reallocate the funding to frontline services, which apparently, according to them, these groups are not. So as somebody who, received frontline services and has also been a part of two of these organizations for years, I can tell you that a lot of the work that we do is absolutely frontline service. We help connect people to their community. We help people find resources that they need to be successful. We help people find jobs that they're passionate about. We help them build skills so they can get those jobs. It is a bit strange, though, if you consider the fact that the only thing that these disability advocacy groups do that frontline services don't do is teach and educate and help people with developmental disabilities advocate for themselves and learn about their rights and learn how to advocate for their rights. In other words, we help people that are marginalized and oppressed by an oftentimes ableist society learn how to stand up for themselves and advocate for their rights. I don't know, but it seems to me like maybe that's what this government is afraid of. Considering that they have a $4 billion surplus and they just gave themselves a raise, not to mention on the same day that they cut these groups' funding, I kind of think it might be. They want to send a message to people with disabilities that they don't want us to be able to advocate for ourselves. They don't want us to be able to stand up for ourselves and, actually have a voice. Because they don't think our voice matters. That is the message that this government is sending. If you live in Alberta and you want to support us in our fight to have this decision reversed, a decision that will hurt a lot of people. It will hurt a lot of people with disabilities and a lot of people that are already marginalized and oppressed. Please consider writing a letter to Premier Daniel Smith, Minister Jason Nixon, who is the Senior Community and Social Services Minister, and your own personal member of Legislative Assembly, or MLA. I will post in the description of this video, or if this is on Instagram, probably under my bio, some link to help you show a couple links of news articles about this, as well as a way to help you find your MLA. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this video, and if you are able to support us by writing a letter, writing an email, whatever it is, please do. Even posting on your social media, even if it's just sharing the news story on your social media, that would be helpful too. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.